Good morning. Welcome to Long Live Third Parties Podcast. Free Press Media Press, Inc., a third parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bichard. Friends, today I'm addressing all the self-starters out there. So let's start. Have you started anything in your life? Hopefully you have. Personally, starting things thrills me. I love to found organizations. And one such type of organization I found it was a political party. Yes. Of course, I'm not the only one who have done that. A lot of great people out there have started third parties. They've all come from somewhere. So I applaud you. And every day, every year, all the time, we see more third parties popping up. Hooray, hooray. Great job, you self-starters. So let me share my story about starting a third party with you so that it may inspire you to start a third party or perhaps to start something else. It may inspire you to start a business, an organization, a nonprofit, even a college club. So may you take this story to a place that inspires you. The political party I founded is the Autonomy Party. Back in 1999, I started that. I unveiled the platform at a conference Free Press Media put on. Back then, we were a nonprofit, so that's why I refer to it as Free Press Media. When we became a profit-making company, we became Free Press Media Press. During that conference, we also had other third parties there. So it was a good environment to foster the advancement of third parties. When you start a political party, the term start can mean many things, and political party can mean many things, as I found out. If you publish a website and you have a manifesto and a platform, that can be starting, and that's one step. So that's what I did at the start. I made position papers, I had our platform, and over the years I have revised and rethought and reviewed what direction our political party would take. It has paralleled my personal evolution and revolution. Therefore, I encourage you to do the same. Be a dynamic political party that keeps growing. When I was in high school, one essay I had, the teacher, Mrs. Baxter, had us do for the book Great Expectations was which characters are dynamic and which characters are static. We don't want to focus on Great Expectations, but we want to focus on static or dynamic. So do you want to be static or dynamic? Third parties are best when they're dynamic, and that's why third parties should be dynamic. The Autonomy Party has always been a party that was synthesizing different ideas, and that's what I conveyed during that conference when I unveiled the platform to the great folks who attended our conference. As I've gone along, I saw some ideas that were not the best, such as some autocratic ideas. A lot of people will condemn autocratic ideas. But are they being honest? What's inside their hearts? The author Debbie Ford noted a lot of us have what she calls shadow sides. So a lot of these people who profess to love liberty have a shadow autocrat in their heart. And therefore, we better find a way to deal with this tension. I have dealt with that tension. I don't know how many other people have, but hopefully they are. And that makes a third party better. So in addition to starting a political party as a blog, website, platform, position papers, you can also do other things such as fundraise. The Autonomy Party did this by applying for a bank account with TCF Bank in Minnesota. When I went there, they said, you have to have registered with the state. So although I wanted to get the bank account right then and there, I did file papers with the state. And that made it official. So that's one way to do it, is to make it even more official by applying with the state. Therefore, I got the papers. They required that you had to post a notice in a business journal. So we did that. We paid the advertisement fee to post a notice in the business journal, and therefore we were established. That may have been the business thing too, but whatever the case was, you did have to file papers with the government. And that meant you had to regularly file reports. Now, here's a warning for you. At the time, I wasn't ready for that type of thing. Therefore, when the papers were coming, they said, you have to list all your expenses, but I didn't have any expenses. We didn't have any expenses. The main function was running a website. If you're actually running for office, you're going to have expenses. But at that point, we were just running a website. If I recall correctly, for setting up an account, they gave you $25 as an incentive. So ultimately, I persuaded the IRS that we're just a website mostly, so we don't need to fill out these forms. And finally, they said, okay, that's fine. There's some regulation in the IRS that allows you to get out of this. So you can file papers. As I mentioned on a prior podcast, when I ran for office as a non-partisan race. That was slightly after I started the Autonomy Party. Had I have won, could the Autonomy Party have claimed victory? Let's hope. A lot of these third-party websites that I visit claim victories for members who are in nonpartisan races. So let's consider that. Folks, here we are. You can start a political party if you feel the vision, the inspiration, the drive, and realize there's different levels of starting a party. You can write a platform on a blog, have social media accounts, and you can also have a bank account. The bank account requires a different level of activity. You have to file papers, like the representative said there. So I did file the papers with the state, and that made it happen. We had a bank account. And one day, I may feel the inspiration to run for office under the Autonomy Party. So friends, think about how this can inspire you to found something, whether it's a political party, a direct inspiration, or found a business, or found an organization. I love being a founder. So for those out there who share that love, it's not everybody I've noticed, but for those who have love of that, how can this inspire you? Long live third parties. Goodbye.